Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today I'm going to be doing my NFL Week 2 picks and predictions, as we're going to be going over my picks and predictions for Sunday's games and the Monday Night Football games. As on Monday Night Football, you have the Saints and Panthers at 6:15, and the Browns and the Steelers at 7:15, two divisional matchups. I already did make my prediction video for the Thursday Night Football game. I made that just a separate video just for that game. Felt like Thursday Night Football was a little bit more special than the Sunday games and the Monday night games as well. And I predicted the Eagles to win 28-23, and the Eagles won 34-28. So let's go over my predictions for Sunday's games and the Monday night games as well. Starting off with the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. I think the Bengals are down to get their first win of the season, and that the two AFC North teams will be both 1-1 after this ball game. I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people think Baltimore are going to go into Cincinnati and get the win. I just don't see it happening. I know Joe Burrow struggled last week, but I think he bounces back. I think same thing goes for T. Higgins, who had 0 yards last week, and I think Jamar Chase has a better matchup, and not only that, but Joe Burrow has a better game. I think Joe Burrow is going to reach over 100 passing yards for sure. I'll make a prediction. Joe Burrow threw 80. It was either 82 or 83 passing yards in the whole game last week against the Cleveland Browns. Joe Burrow will be way over 83 passing yards by the first half against the Ravens in this game. I think Burrow will have a bounce-back game, but I only have the Cincinnati Bengals winning this game by 3 points. I have the Bengals winning on a game-winning field goal by Evan McPherson, winning the ball game 27-24. Then I have I have the Buffalo Bills beating the Las Vegas Raiders 30-20. I think the Raiders will keep this game close in the first half, but then the Bills will pull away in the second half. But what type of Josh Allen are we going to see? Are we going to see the Josh Allen we saw for most of the season last year? Are we going to see the Josh Allen that we saw Monday night that threw 3 interceptions and looked terrible and only scored 16 points against the Jets, which the Jets have a great defense, but Josh Allen was still terrible. I don't care what defense he faced. He was still terrible last week against the New York Jets. Then I have the Bucs starting off 2-0, beating the Bears in a very close game at home, 19-17. And I have the Green Bay Packers I have Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers starting off 2-0 as well, beating the Falcons 29-21. I think Jordan Love has another great game to start the season. Then I think this might be one of the most interesting games all week. You have the Kansas City Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is the return for Travis Kelce and Chris Jones. Chris Jones and KC agreed to that new deal. Kelce's back from the knee injury. So I think it's going to be interesting to see, how they look. But they're facing a Jaguars team that they almost lost to twice last year. Regular season, they only beat them 27-17, and it was a close game in the fourth quarter. And then in the playoffs, they only beat them 27-20. I have this game being closer than either the games last year were against Jacksonville, but Kansas City pulling out their first win of the season. Barely, though. I think it's going to be a game-winning field goal in the fourth quarter. Not like at the end of the game, but in Jacksonville, I do believe we'll have a chance to maybe, win this game or tie this game and maybe send it to overtime. But I don't think they'll be able to do it. I think the Chiefs win this game 30-27 against the Jaguars. Then the Lions and the Seahawks. I have the Lions beating the Seahawks in a shootout, 33-31. I think we see a great game from rookie running back, the 12th overall pick, Jahmyr Gibbs. Then I have the Houston Texans beating the Indianapolis Colts 23-20. CJ Stroud is questionable. I think he will play. And even if he doesn't, I still think the Texans win. The Texans have a good defense. They showed some really good stuff on defense last week against the Ravens. Yes, they gave up 25 points, but they had 4 sacks. They had 1 interception. They had a fumble recovery. They had another forced fumble that Baltimore was able to luckily recover. I think they had 6 or 7 tackles for loss, and this was without 3 starters. And one of their best players on defense, Jalen Petrie, was out most of the game. Yes, Jalen Petrie and Jimmy Ward, our 2 starting safeties, will be out in this ball game, but we didn't have them last week. I'm not upset that the Texans Yeah, I'm not upset that the Houston Texans don't have Jalen Petrie or Jimmy Ward, but thing is they didn't have them last week against the Ravens, and the Ravens are a way better team than the Colts. I think the Texans will find success in this ball game and beat the Colts 23-20. Really good defense. This game is at home for the Texans as well. I think the Texans have success, but the Texans are the underdogs in this game. I have the New York Giants bouncing back after embarrassing loss against the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football last week, 40-0. This game's on the road. It is in Arizona, but I think the Giants win 24-13 against Arizona. And then I think this will be an interesting game to watch. The Chargers and the Titans. Will the Chargers be able to beat the Titans on the road without Austin Eckler, probably their best player on the team besides Justin Herbert? I mean, no, Eckler is probably the best player on the team. I don't know. I think we saw some really good stuff from Joshua Kelly. He almost had 100 rushing yards. He had one rushing touchdown as well. So with Eckler out, that means Joshua Kelly's role will be bigger. So I don't think the Chargers will lose this game, but I think without Austin Eckler, I think this game is closer than it should be, and I think the Chargers win 27-20. Then I think one of the biggest underdogs going into Sunday's games is the Los Angeles Rams. Everybody is saying the Rams are going to get their butts kicked in this ball game. I do think the 49ers win. I'm not saying the Rams do win, but I think this is a closer game than everybody thinks. Sean McVay has had success against Kyle Shanahan in the San Francisco 49ers. I think this game's close. The Rams keep it close in the first half and most of the second half. I think the 49ers win this ball game 30-24. Then I have the Denver Broncos beating the Washington Commanders 24-16. I don't think the Commanders' offense will be able to get going at all on offense in this game against a great Broncos defense. And I think Russell Wilson has a bounce-back game. I think the Broncos scores 3 touchdowns in this ball game, and Russell Wilson throws 2 with 0 interceptions. I have the Dallas Cowboys beating the New York Jets 19-10 in Dallas. I think this will be a good game where you see a lot of defense being played. Under 30 points in this ball game, I don't think you will see over 30 points in this ball game for both teams combined. I think this will be, a show out between two really good defenses and a better offense for the Cowboys, and that's why I think they win this game 19-10. Then Sunday Night Football, I think the Patriots have a chance to maybe get an upset here, but I have the Dolphins winning by 4, 28-24. Then the Monday Night Football games, I have the Saints starting off 2-0, beating the Panthers 34-23. And I have the Steelers getting their first win of the season after getting blown out by the 49ers, beating the Browns 19-16. So that was my picks and predictions for Week 2. You guys give me your picks and predictions for Week 2. We'll see how good I do for this week. I didn't do too bad last week. We'll see how I do this week, though. That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy their thoughts, and peace out.